I just don't think you can stop this kid. He's one of the best players in the world right now. He's an outstanding artist, and he is a different kind of player from what we're so used to seeing over the last 10 years.
Confirmation, they have clinched their 28th La Liga title as champions, 7 points clear of Real Madrid. And I think the main point here is there were plenty of distractions. Obviously, the players wouldn't have known what happened just before kickoff outside, but then there was the stoppage because of the referee. There was a lot going on. They were playing against a side who Barcelona haven't necessarily got on with particularly well. But they were able to put those distractions to one side and get the job done.
Yeah, and you remember what happened a couple of years ago when they had the opportunity to win the league title in that stadium, and then all of a sudden it became mayhem afterwards. The dancing and the celebration in the middle of the park, you can't do things like that. This is an enemy, obviously, where you're winning the title. Let's not forget that. So there was a bit of tension, obviously, building up to it. Then, obviously, the incident prior to the game kicking off and players finding out as the game's going on that something was wrong. It was a flat first 45 minutes. Barcelona had one shot on target in that first 45 minutes. And I think you could see that there was maybe some nerves out there, but there was some tired legs, and maybe trying not to lose the game was the idea for Barcelona, especially early on in the game. And Espanyol had the best opportunities. Those two 1v1s, Chesney absolutely pulled off blinding saves to make sure that they kept the scoreline at 0-0. But then the true quality really does shine through, though. To get the job done with a moment of brilliance once again from your superstar, from Lamine Yamal to step up. The team selection was very, very good. Lewandowski back in the starting 11, obviously, after his recent injuries. He's been a big miss. He was a bit flat in this game. He had a couple of nice opportunities. I thought Rafinha was okay in this game, but Lamine Yamal was the match winner again. And when you need a moment of brilliance, a moment of magic, sometimes in football teams around the world, you'll look at 18, 19-year-olds stepping up to be those match winners. It rarely ever happens, right? This kid is still 17 years old, and he's the match winner once again. And the way that he did do it, putting it in the top corner, it's next level.
It's crazy, and it's testament to his quality as well. When a player scores maybe 1 or 2 goals in the same thrilling fashion, then defending teams kind of know what they're going to do. But he keeps scoring goals like that. You know, he gets it onto his left foot, he cuts inside, and he sends that curling shot onto the far post. But again and again, teams they're not able to defend against it.
Yeah, I can only put myself in that position. I remember playing against Lukas Podolski one time when he was at Bayern Munich, and he's obviously naturally left-footed. And I remember everyone kept saying to me, show him down the right-hand side. And every single time I tried to show him down the right-hand side, he would pull off a moment of brilliance to get to his left foot, because that's where he naturally wants to go. If there's a yard of space, he's looking for a move of the ball, because you're frightened he's going to go to the right-hand side and beat you for pace. It's very difficult 1v1. But if you look at Espanyol, they had 3 defenders. The goal's insane. They had 3 defenders around him, and yet they still didn't manage to stop the shot getting off. I just don't think you can stop this kid. He's one of the best players in the world right now. He's an outstanding artist, and he is a different kind of player from what we're so used to seeing over the last 10 years. This pass and move technique, especially at Barcelona, it's a completely different team now.
There was a great interview with Hansi Flick. He was asked about what is it that Lamine Yamal does particularly well with the ball at his feet. And he said he's never seen someone who takes such small touches when he's dribbling the ball forward at pace. Normally, you know, we've seen players, and certainly if you go down the leagues, they're kicking the ball quite a long way ahead of them. They run onto it, and then they keep doing that as they move forward. Whereas Lamine Yamal, the ball is literally almost stuck to his foot. So as a defending player, like you were against Podolski, you just can't get in there and take it off him.
No, and he reminds me very similar as coming on the left foot. Obviously, you have Arjen Robben, who used to do this time and time again in a Bayern Munich jersey. Obviously, I go back to the Bundesliga from my time playing in Germany. I was so familiar with watching how he did it and thinking, why on earth do we not keep putting him down to the right-hand side? But the ball's so close to him, it looks like it's glued to his foot. That's how good he actually is. I thought his game today was outstanding in general. It was quiet in the first 45 minutes, obviously. It was a player of the match performance once again for what he did do. He had 100 touches of the ball. He was effective all around. He only had 5 touches of the ball in the opposition box, so he doesn't necessarily have to have it in the right areas to be creative. He can do it from outside that penalty area. He can do it from the wing. He can do it coming inside. He's just an outstanding player. It's an artistic player that is so lost in this generation. Nowadays, you see these players who are machines. They're taught and they're trained. They're coached to play a specific way, which is pass and move, pass and move, pass and move. The man that we should be giving credit to is Hansi Flick for the way he's handled this young squad of players, mixed with experience, obviously bringing Chesney into the group, Lewandowski into the group at their great age. But Hansi Flick has managed to get the best out of these young players. And yeah, there's been Xavi Hernandez before him who couldn't quite do that.
First league title for Flick at Barcelona. Is this the start of a dynasty for him in Catalonia?
He's outstanding. He's absolutely brilliant. Dynasty is obviously a big question to be asked, but I think obviously if you look at what they've done, their goal scoring is absolutely brilliant. 168 goals that they scored. Obviously winning a domestic treble is so important. They took 988 shots in 57 games going into this one. I didn't even have a look to see how many shots they took in this game. But it's an insane amount of shots. He's offensive-minded. He wants to play a specific way. He clearly has the players to be able to offensively play that way. If they can tweak a few things defensively, no one's going to stop them in European football. They're that good. And these young players are only going to get better and better. Ter Stegen will come back in goal, obviously, next season, you would imagine. Chesney's done an unbelievable job. Back to the beach you go, mate. Off you go, grab your pint and see you later. Yeah. Lewandowski, that's the big question now. Obviously, Barcelona are relying on his goals this season. He got 25. He's still stuck on 99 goals for Barcelona across all competitions. But I just don't see any other direction than up for this Barcelona squad under Hansi.
If it does turn out that Xabi Alonso is the new Real Madrid manager, do you think Hansi Flick is looking forward to testing himself in this brilliant Barcelona side against Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso on the touchline next season?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's at a wonderful football club in Barcelona, right? I mean, last season, obviously, the financial difficulties, Xavi Hernandez had problems, obviously, with the board, the members and the ownership group, or obviously the leadership group at that football club. It was very difficult for me, and to understand why he would want to go to Barcelona at that time. But he clearly saw something that we didn't, that they had a young group of players who were clearly world-class and talented, coming through La Masia, who could be the next generation of quality players to change our game. I didn't think he could have a success this quickly, though. The way he's made it look in La Liga is easy. They still got a couple of games left and he's won the title. The way he's managed to dominate 16 goals in El Clasico against Real Madrid. The way he's managed to take his team to the semi-final of a Champions League where they hadn't got past the quarters in years, and then all of a sudden they were this far away from getting to a final. He's only going to improve this group of players, and he deserves the biggest pat on the back for this job he's done at Barcelona. They're in a great position now. New stadium's not far away as well, so let's hope that pushes them to glory going forward.
There was an incident, wasn't there, before kickoff where a car drove into fans, causing quite a lot of injuries. Here's our Spanish football correspondent, Phil Kitramilides, with the latest on that incident.
Various theories are abounding as to how and why this happened, the incident outside the RCDE stadium. Here are the facts that we actually know. A small white car driven by a woman between 45 and 55 years old caused injuries to at least 13 people. How the car got to be stuck in a situation where it was surrounded by people with bottles being thrown and an angry mob around the car, that is still to be cleared. There are rumours and suggestions that previously someone had been hit and fans saw that and they got upset with that, but it's not clear at the moment why this has happened. What we can say definitively is that 13 people have been injured, but those injuries are not life-threatening, they are not serious, they are being treated, and no one's life is in any danger. The woman who caused this has been detained by the local Catalan police. What happened inside the stadium in the 7th minute? On the megaphone in the stadium, Espanyol announced that the incident outside that some of you might have seen, there are no serious injuries, to try and calm people down. The referee went and spoke to the Catalan police official on the touchline to decide whether or not the game should continue. It was decided that it should continue, but some people inside the stadium weren't happy. Now, the grada de animación, the loudest, noisiest fans behind one of the goals, the Espanyol fans, they walked out. They decided that the game should not have continued after this incident, which for anybody who saw it must have been extremely traumatic to witness this kind of terrifying incident. They decided that the game shouldn't have continued and they walked out. But obviously the most positive news from this really very alarming incident is that nobody is seriously hurt.